It really feels like AI just exploded overnight, right? One minute, it's just stuff you see in sci-fi movies, and the next, there's this massive pressure. Like, if you're not using it, you're already obsolete. And honestly, it's exhausting. So today, let's just cut through all that noise. We are not going to talk about the future of humanity or robot overlords. Nope. We're talking about something way more practical. How AI can actually help you get through, a regular Tuesday. Let's dive in.
I mean, this message is just screamed at us from every direction, isn't it? Get on board or get left behind. It's this constant nagging feeling that you're supposed to be an expert by now, but, well, nobody ever handed out the user manual on how to even begin.
So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by all of this, let me just say you are so not alone. There's actually a name for it, AI anxiety. It's that very real pit in your stomach that you're falling behind on something huge and kind of complex. But that's exactly what we're here to fix today.
So let's just strip away the whole robot apocalypse narrative for a second. We're going to look at AI for what it is right now, a utility. Think of it like a new tool for your toolbox that can make your day-to-day work easier, faster, and maybe even a little more creative.
Okay, I found the best way to think about this is to reframe it completely. Don't think of AI as some kind of super brain. Instead, think of it as a free, very eager, and, a slightly literal intern who's available to you 24/7. This is an intern that can help with all the boring parts of your job so you can finally focus on what really matters.
Now, this slide right here breaks down the single most important idea for getting over that AI anxiety. See, general AI, that's the sci-fi stuff, the robots that can think and feel and plan world domination. That stuff does not exist yet. What we have right now is called narrow AI. It's basically a system that's designed to do one specific thing and do it incredibly well. So the AI drafting your emails, it isn't plotting against you, it's just really, really good at predicting what word should come next in a sentence.
So how exactly does your new intern think? Well, it doesn't. Not like a human, anyway. It's basically just superpowered autocomplete. It has analyzed pretty much the entire internet to learn what words tend to follow other words. It's not actually thinking about the email it's writing for you, it's just predicting the most statistically likely sequence of words. When you see it that way, it's a lot less magical and a whole lot more manageable.
Okay, so if we're living in this world of specialized tools, which one should you actually be using? Let's open up the toolkit and take a look at the big three that you can start playing with for free right now. Each of these tools kind of has its own personality, and knowing which one to grab really depends on the job at hand. First up, you've got ChatGPT, the one everyone's heard of. Think of it as your versatile Swiss Army knife. It's great for brainstorming and logic problems. Then there's Google's Gemini, who I like to call the web-powered researcher. Because it's plugged directly into Google's search, it's your go-to for anything that needs real-time, up-to-the-minute info. And finally, there's Claude from Anthropic. Let's call Claude the thoughtful writer.
Let's break that down real quick. Use ChatGPT as your general, all-around starting point. Use Gemini when you need to know about a breaking news story or, the score from last night's game, and when you need to write something with a real human touch, like a tricky email or a creative newsletter, Claude often whips up a warmer, more natural tone that just feels less robotic.
All right, we have our tools. Now let's learn how to actually use them well. Because the single biggest reason people get frustrated and give up on AI is that they just don't know how to talk to it. This right here is the classic mistake. You go to the chat box, you type in marketing plan, you get a page of generic garbage back, and you decide, well, AI is useless. See, if you give it a generic input, you're always going to get a generic output, basically the average of the entire internet. To get an expert answer, you have to tell the AI to be an expert.
The secret is this simple but super powerful formula: role, task, and context. So instead of just saying, write about coffee, you structure your request, your prompt, like this. First, the role. Act as an expert barista with 20 years of experience. Next, the task. Write a blog post about sustainable coffee beans. And finally, the context. The audience is sophisticated coffee snobs. I'm telling you, using this simple formula will instantly transform the quality of your results. It's a game changer.
And you gotta remember, that first thing it spits out, that's just a first draft. You have to talk back to it, give it feedback. Say, hey, that's too formal, make it punchier, or this is great, now cut it in half and put it in bullet points. You have to steer the conversation. It's a collaboration, not a vending machine where you just put a coin in and get one thing out. So what's the actual, tangible payoff for mastering this? What's the point? Well, it's all about automating the boring parts of your job to buy back your most valuable resource, your time.
Let's make this super concrete. Think about that difficult email you've been putting off. You know the one. It usually takes 20 minutes of just staring at a blank screen. With a good AI prompt, you can get a solid first draft in seconds. You just review it, tweak the tone, and hit send. That 20-minute struggle just became a 5-minute task.
Now, let's do the math on that. If AI saves you just 5 hours a week, which, by the way, is a pretty conservative estimate, that adds up to 250 hours a year. That is more than 6 full weeks of work. That's time you get back for the big projects, the creative thinking, or, just having a better work-life balance.
And this brings us to the biggest fear of all, doesn't it? Is this thing coming for my job? But all the experts are pretty clear on this. That's the wrong question to be asking. The whole nature of competition is shifting.
And that is the final crucial takeaway for today. The risk isn't the tool itself taking your job. The risk is a person who knows how to use this tool effectively outperforming someone who doesn't. Learning this skill right now, it's like being the first person in the office to master email while everyone else is still fighting with the fax machine. The question isn't if your industry will adopt AI. The only question is, will you be the one to lead the change now, or will you be forced to play catch-up later?